Happy Easter, everybody. What way to better celebrate Easter than, well, anyway, couple of something that we can, oh my goodness, couple of things we can do if on your time off tonight or celebrating with your family. And if you're not, well, playoffs today with hockey and basketball. That's what I'm going to talk about. Or WrestleMania Night 2, which is very odd to put that on Night 2. I guess they never realized that was going to be Easter Sunday on Night 2, but that's not the point of the video. Just want to say Happy Easter, everybody. This is a preview of the Miami Heat versus Cleveland Cavaliers, Round 1. East Round 1 of the Eastern Conference, number 8 versus number 1, of course. So let's get things started. So back to the wideouts, as we always do. It's our yearly tradition. As the Miami Heat made their way to the playoffs from the play-in, from blowing out the Chicago Bulls, which was an impressive win, and then a hard-fought victory, one of the Game of the Year's candidate between the Miami Heat and the Atlanta Hawks, prevailing against the Atlanta Hawks to make their way to the 6th straight playoffs in a row for the Miami Heat. So the record is 37-45. That's 8 games under 500. That is considered a losing record, but a losing record can sometimes make it to the playoffs, which is very strange. Especially coming from the 10th seed, which the Miami Heat were on the 10th seed. First team ever to reach playoffs as a 10th seed. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy, to say the least. But the Heat, now the real business starts in the playoffs, and they have to go through the Cavaliers. And the Cavaliers, this is a team to not fuck with. They are 64-18 of the season, one of the highest teams in the league right now. The only team that is higher than the Cleveland Cavaliers is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City Thunder is a team to really watch in the Western Conference. That team could possibly go to the NBA Finals and win it all. But how will the Heat respond if they somehow make it to the finals? A possible sweep? I don't know. But we're not talking about that far. We have to go through round 1, and this is a dangerous, dangerous Cleveland team, and they're probably going to walk all over us. That is a hard reality. However, though, in the season, though, the Miami Heat did beat the Cleveland Cavaliers back in December. If you guys remember, it was actually a hard-fought victory, and they actually beat them at home. The final score of that game was 122-113. And you remember how excited I was when I was recapping that game. I was like, we fucking beat Cleveland, the best team in the league right now. I was hyped up. Tyler Hero had a monster game. He had a monster game, Tyler Hero, with 34 points in that one. Duncan Robinson was awesome in that game too, 23 points. Jimmy Butler, that we had at that time, scored 18 points, had some little chances. Bam Adebayo getting a double-double once more. And everything was looking great. And Drew Smith had a pretty nice game as well. If I remember Drew Smith. Terry Rozier wasn't that bad back in that time. It really wasn't. But that's all a lifetime ago. That was a lifetime ago. Because since then, Cleveland pretty much did their part against us in the second game. Sure, the Miami Heat had a chance in the third quarter, but David Mitchell was too much. And then the game against Cleveland, in Cleveland, was a very close game. It was a very, very close game. But Tyler Hero was robbed from that three-pointer. He was not out of bounds. I stand by what I said. He was not out of bounds when that happened. That was a game-tying 3 that was disallowed because he was out of bounds. No way, folks. No way. So Cleveland got lucky. They got escape of that one. They actually did put up a fight against the Miami Heat. Although in that stretch, though, the Miami Heat were going on a 10-game losing streak. I feel like if that didn't happen, and they beat the Bulls during that stretch, or they beat Charlotte during that stretch, we would not have talked about the 10-game losing streak. We just wouldn't. But it all leads up to this. It all leads up to this. Cleveland having the best season without LeBron James. They had a couple of 1 or 15 game winning streaks. That team was awesome. Fantastic. Preview, Miami Heat versus Cleveland Cavaliers. We watched Tyler Hero versus Donovan Mitchell. I'm going to see which one is a better Mitchell, Donovan or Davion. Both Mitchells wearing number 45s. Isn't that crazy? Bam Adebayo versus Jared Allen, both rebound kings. Garland, we need to watch out for because he can score an average of, he can score a pretty good average there with Garland, like 20 points per game or 15 because it's mainly Mitchell. But those two players are the team to watch out for, and they have no injured players, no injuries at all. That team is healthy. That team is ready to compete, and that team is expected to go to the NBA Finals over the Boston Celtics and stuff like that. It's the Heat's job to say no, we deserve it more, which we'll talk about that when the time comes, or it's possible to pull up an upset against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Think of it a couple of years ago. Miami Heat went to the playoffs as an 8 seed. Yeah. But they beat the Bucks in 5. They beat the Bucks in 5 like everybody else was saying. Heat in 5. They upset the Bucks, which was an amazing one. Jimmy Butler had himself a monster series against the Bucks. Then we played the Knicks, we beat them. We played the Celtics, almost choking the 3-0 lead in the series, but we managed to prevail and then get swamped by the Nuggets. But that was memory. That was a good memory. This is a totally different situation. This is Cleveland. 64-18 Cleveland. How do you compete against that? Well, you got to have the chemistry. You got to have a good, consistent shooting, and the defense needs to be right there. Or you can expect to get swept. I truly don't think they're going to get swept, Miami Heat. I don't think so. If anything, they can win 1 or 2 games, but might still fall to the Cavaliers. But there's always a chance of an upset, and the Heat is so good at that these past few years with the upsets. Not as good as they want it to be, but it's possible. That's all I'm saying. It's possible. We start in Cleveland in Game 1. That's tonight. Tonight at Easter Sunday at Rocket Arena. So, of course, we're going to have to start out there. Game 2 is on Wednesday. That's on NBA TV. So if you're in Miami, which I know a lot of you are, you can just go to FanDuel Sports Sun. Then I'm weirded out by this. Saturday, April 26th is a 1:00 matinee game at Kaseya Center, and that's a problem. I think that's a problem for South Florida sports in general, because when that preview does come, I'll explain why. But this game is at 1:00. I really hope they reconsider it. I really hope they reconsider that time, not just because the fact that it's a day game and there's going to be traffic, but yeah, I'll just say this right now. The Florida Panthers are also playing at 1:00 Emirates Bank Arena at the same day. We'll talk. I mean, that's just incredibly stupid. It's so stupid to have those two games at the same time. Then Game 4 is on Monday the 28th. Time to be determined. So we don't have a time yet. But I hope they coordinate with the NHL. Just saying. If necessary, which it might be necessary, Game 5 will be back in Cleveland, April 30th. Time to be determined. If necessary, Game 6 will be on May 2nd. That's a Friday. And Game 7, which probably won't happen, would be on May 4th. Game 7, if necessary. They'll finish series in Cleveland. What's your prediction down below? I'm pretty sure Cavaliers is going to be this is easy. Well, it might be easy, but there's always a chance of an upset. You cannot take these games lightly. That's all I'm saying. We definitely have been through some games where we had a big chance of going to the NBA Finals. We didn't do so. We got upset by some teams. My point here: there's always a chance of an upset. But yeah, man, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Again, happy Easter, everybody. Let's go Heat, and let's go for an upset. Because the Heat go for an upset, watch out, NBA, because that team, this is a team to watch. They would play inspired basketball. It's not impossible for South Florida teams to beat the top seeded team and then make their way to the championship. But anyway, guys, there you go. That's going to do it for this one. If you liked this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more content. And I'll see you guys a little bit later on. Everybody, have a great Easter.